Good morning, everyone. Here's a story for the day. Too many tamales. Let's see, too many tamales. Snow drifted through the streets, and now that it was dusk, Christmas trees glittered in the window. Maria moved her nose off the glass and came back to the counter. She was acting grown up now, helping her mother make tamales. Their hands were sticky with masa. That's very good, said her mother. Maria smiled and kneaded the masa. She felt grown up wearing her mother's apron. Her mom had even let her wear perfume. If only I could wear Mama's ring just for a minute, she thought. Maria's mother placed her diamond ring on the kitchen counter. Maria loved that ring. She loved how it sparkled like the Christmas lights outside. When her mother left the kitchen to answer the telephone, Maria couldn't help herself. She wiped her hands on the apron and she looked at the door. "I'll wear the ring just for a minute," Maria said, and the ring sparkled on her thumb. Maria returned to kneading the masa, her hands pumping up and down. On her thumb, the ring disappeared, then reappeared in the sticky glob of dough. Her mother returned and took the bowl from her. "Go get your father for this part," her mom said, and the three of them began to spread masa onto corn husks. Maria's father helped by plopping a spoonful of meat in the center and folding the husk. He then placed them in a large pot on the stove. They made 24 tamales as the windows grew white with delicious smelling
Please excuse
steam.
this interruption. Mr. Moema is away with no supply,
A
so his
few
classes are
hours
canceled for
later, the
today.
family came over with armfuls of bright presents: her grandparents, her uncle and aunt, and her cousins, Dolores, Teresa, and Danny. Maria kissed everyone hello. Then she grabbed Dolores by the arm and took her upstairs to play, while the other cousins tagged along. They cut out pictures from the newspaper, pictures of toys they were hoping were wrapped and sitting under the Christmas tree. As Maria was snipping out a picture of a pearl necklace, she suddenly remembered. "The ring!" she screamed. Everyone stared at her. "What ring?" Dolores said. Without answering, Maria ran to the kitchen. The steaming tamales lay piled on a plate. "The ring is inside one of the tamales," she thought to herself. "It must have come off when I was kneading the masa." Dolores, Teresa, and Danny skidded into the kitchen. "Help me," Maria cried. And they looked at each other. Danny piped up, "What do you want us to do?" "Eat them. If you bite something hard, tell me," Maria said. The four of them started eating. They ripped off the husks and bit into them. The first one tasted good, the second one pretty good, but by the third tamale, they had had enough. "Keep eating," Maria scolded. Corn husks littered the floor. Their stomachs were stretched till they hurt. But the cousins kept eating until there was only one tamale left. "This must be it," she said. "The ring must be in this one. We'll each take a bite. You first, Danny." Danny was the youngest, so he didn't argue. He took a bite, nothing. Dolores took a bite. Teresa took a bite. Then it was Maria's turn. She took a deep breath and slowly bit into the last tamale. Nothing. "Didn't any of you bite something hard?" Maria asked. Danny frowned. "Maybe I swallowed something hard," he said. "Swallowed it?" Maria cried, her eyes big with worry. She looked inside his mouth. "I didn't bite anything hard, but I think I'm going to be sick." Maria didn't look in Teresa's mouth. She wanted to throw herself onto the floor and cry. The ring was now in her cousin's throat, or worse, in his belly. How would she tell her mother? But she had to, I thought. She could feel tears pressing to get out as she walked into the living room where the grown-ups were talking. They chattered so loudly that Maria didn't know how to interrupt. Finally, she tugged on her mother's sleeve. "What's wrong?" her mother said, and she took Maria's hand. "I did something wrong," Maria sobbed. "What?" said her mother. Maria thought about the beautiful ring that was now sitting in Danny's belly. She gasped. The ring was on her mother's finger, bright as ever. The ring, Maria nearly screamed. Maria's mother scraped off a flake of dried masa. You were playing with it, weren't you? She said. I just wanted to wear it for a minute, said Maria, looking down at the rug. And then she told them all about how they had eaten all the tamales trying to find it. Her mother moved the ring a little on her finger. It winked a silvery light. Maria looked up, and Aunt Rose winked at her too. Well, it looks like we'll have to make another batch of tamales, said her Aunt Rosa. Maria held her full stomach as everyone filed in the kitchen, joking and laughing. At first, she still felt like crying as she kneaded a great dole of masa next to Aunt Rosa. As she pumped her hands up and down, a leftover tear fell from her eyelashes into the bowl, and just for a second it rested on her finger, sparkling like a jewel. Then Rosa nudged her with her elbow and said, Hey, Nina, it's not so bad. Everyone knows the second batch of tamales always tastes better than the first. When Dolores, Teresa, and Danny heard that from the other side of the room, they let out a groan the size of 24 tamales. Then Maria couldn't help herself. She laughed. And pretty soon everyone else was laughing too, including her mother. And when Maria put her hands back into the bowl of masa, the leftover tear was gone. Well, I hope you enjoyed that story. Bye, everyone.